First-century Christians never worshipped on Sunday. Are you breaking God's law? What if millions of Christians are unknowingly breaking God's law every single week? What if Sunday worship, the tradition so many hold dear, is not only unbiblical but a deception that leads to judgment? This is not speculation. This is historical fact. First-century Christians never worshipped on Sunday. Those who ignore God's Sabbath may be facing eternal consequences. But don't take this at face value. Let the evidence speak. Anyone who believes otherwise is challenged to disprove these facts. Fact number 1. The Bible never commands Sunday worship. Nowhere in Scripture does God command his people, Jews or Gentiles, to abandon the Sabbath and worship on Sunday. In Exodus 28-11, God issues a direct command. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. The command is clear. The Sabbath is the seventh day, not the first. There is no mention of Sunday. Some claim that Jesus changed the Sabbath, but this is false. In Matthew 5:17 he declares, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it." Jesus kept the Sabbath, Luke 4:16, and so did his disciples. Where is the verse where Jesus commands worship on Sunday instead? It does not exist. Fact number 2. The apostles and early church kept the Sabbath. Acts 13:42-44 records Paul preaching in the synagogue on the Sabbath. When the Gentiles wanted to hear more, did they meet the next day on Sunday? No, they gathered again on the next Sabbath. Acts 18:4 states that Paul reasoned every Sabbath in the synagogue, persuading both Jews and Greeks. If Sunday had replaced the Sabbath, why didn't Paul tell the Gentiles to meet on the first day of the week instead? The reason is simple. Sunday worship did not exist in the early church. Fact number 3. Sunday worship was introduced in the 4th century by Rome. For over 300 years after Christ, Christians continued observing the seventh-day Sabbath. Then came Emperor Constantine, a lifelong sun worshipper, who in AD 321 issued the first Sunday law. On the venerable day of the sun, let magistrates and people rest. This decree had nothing to do with Christ. It was a direct reference to the ancient pagan day of the sun. Constantine did not enforce Sunday worship to honor Jesus. He did it to unite his empire by merging Christianity with sun worship. If Sunday observance was truly a divine command, why did it take a Roman emperor to establish it? Judgment is coming. Are you prepared? Revelation 14:12 warns, "Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus." Ignoring the Sabbath is breaking one of God's commandments. On Judgment Day, many will cry out to Jesus, thinking they served him, only to hear these terrifying words, "Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." Matthew 7:23. Is this what you want to hear? The challenge is set. Can anyone prove that Jesus or his apostles changed the Sabbath? Is there one verse in the Bible that commands Sunday worship? Can anyone provide historical evidence that first-century Christians gathered for worship on Sunday? There is none. The truth is clear. Those who worship on Sunday are following the traditions of men, not the commandments of God. What will you do now? God's judgment is coming. The question is simple. Will you obey God's law, or will you continue in man-made tradition? The choice is yours. But your eternal destiny depends on it. Like, share, and subscribe if you're ready to stand for the truth.